Openwater Church family. I hope you guys are having a good day today. Pastor Billy Brown here with you, and just wanted to talk to you a little bit more about this whole idea of God wanting us. And within that thought, one of the things that Pastor Dave shared with us is that God imagined you. He imagined you, and he imagined me. And so let me just share with you a quick verse. Psalm 139:16 says, "Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be." So imagination, let's talk about that for a little bit. Because part of the question that we have this morning is, do I believe that God is my designer? Do we really believe that God designed me? Do we really believe that God designed you? So imagination is a cool thing, and maybe you've had stuff that you've imagined at one time. Now I'm going to tell you two people's names, and you probably won't know these names when I first tell them to you. So this first name is Wayne Barlow, and the second name is Jor Du Shell. And you go, Billy, what does this have to do with imagination? I mean, where are you going with this? Well, let me tell you. Wayne Barlow and Jor Du Shell were the main illustrators and concept artists for the movie Avatar. How many of you guys remember the movie Avatar? Well, I'm sure you probably have seen it, and if you're anything like me, you probably can relate in the fact that from a creative standpoint, from an imagination standpoint, this was like a visual picture on steroids. I mean, the CGI that they did, the illustrations that they came up with, was just out of this world, and I can remember going to see it with a bunch of friends and just thinking, man, this is amazing. Everything that they've created, everything that they have designed. But that design had to start with imagination. So Wayne Barlow and Jor Du Shell had to come up with some thoughts and imagine some thoughts when James Cameron came to them and said, this is what we're doing. And this is what I would like to see come to life and be brought to life. Well, the same is true with God, right? He saw our unformed body. He saw us before he even created us. He knew and imagined what we would look like, each of us, with all of our individuality, with all of our different little quirks and nuances. God knew those things, and he specifically designed you and I. So what that should do is that should tell you, one, that you're worth something, another, that you're loved, that God cares about every single part of you. And so that should make you feel encouraged, and that should make you feel alive and feel inspired, and know that the God that we serve, all-powerful, all-knowing God, imagined us even before he formed us, and then he formed us and he knit us together like we've talked about in this Psalm 139 passage. And he formed us and put us all in the right places and just put us all together just to be exactly who we are today. And so that's what we want to remind you of. And this idea that God wants you. Remember that God has designed you. He's designed you and I specifically and perfectly. And so let that be a comforting word to you today. And we hope you have a good rest of your week.